All right, so what's the perfect cop to you?
Somebody who can see the gray area, not just everything in black and white. Somebody who has maybe had some experiences themselves in their background to where they understand that people make mistakes. And somebody that will lay their life on the line for anybody that is in trouble.
All right, and what would you change about the muscular system?
About the
Muscular system.
muscular system, I don't even recognize what that is.
Muscles and like,
What would I change about it?
yeah.
What would
Like, would you make them stronger by like special implants?
You know what? I would about the years ago I was a bodybuilder, and I was a bodybuilder for 3 years, and a lot of people I was working out with back then used steroids. That was back in the day when steroids were just everywhere. You can find them everywhere. And what I would change is that people could get the type of muscle tone they want without having to use all the enhancements, because I know the damage that it can do. I didn't do it myself, but my training partner did, so I saw a lot of damage.
All right, what would you change about the skin?
The skin, I would make it not so susceptible to skin cancer. If I could change anything, it would be that.
All right, and what about the brain and the nervous system?
Well, I would probably have us not kill so many brain cells on dumb stuff we do. On the brain, I don't know. I don't think I could change anything about that. It's a pretty amazing organ. It's I don't know if you could change anything on that truly. On the muscular system, I would take away the brittle bones, as you get older. So.
All right, and what about the skeletal system, which is just like the skeleton?
Skeletal system. I think I would make, as odd as it is, I would make spines stronger, because I've suffered with back issues ever since I was a bodybuilder. I think that so many people have back problems, and so I think the spine just isn't quite strong enough for what people deal with in life. So other than that, I couldn't think of anything else.
All right, and what about the senses?
Wow. I don't know if I would change anything there either. It's the senses are amazing too. I think it's awesome that if you're weak in one sense, you tend to become stronger in another. I don't have the best vision, but I can hear, things from far away.
Yeah.
I've always wondered if that had something to do with it. So I think senses are pretty amazing. I don't know what I would change about those.
All right, and what would your requirements for being a cop be?
I like the requirements now. I do. You go through so much training and so much background check and so much testing for it. I was an applicant for a police department when I was younger. Tried very hard to get on. I think that in my case, I got through all the testing every time. I could ace the oral interviews, I could ace the written, I could ace the physical, I could ace everything, but I couldn't pass the medical because of my vision. And so I understand why you have to have great vision, but they lose a lot of really good people because of that. They're so strict on that particular one, and I don't know if they've changed it. Back when I was an applicant, you couldn't have eye surgery to correct your vision. So I don't know if they've changed that since. I have 20/20 vision now, but I think I think that everything's really good. I think it's the testing they do is perfect. I know back in the day when I was training for it, about 100 out of every 6,000 that applied could get through it. Yeah. And I think that's fair. I think if I could change anything about law enforcement, it would be how the only thing you ever hear are the negative stuff that shows up in the media. But as far as the training and the expectations and what you need for it, I think that it's not broke, so I don't think there's a reason to fix it. I think it's a good deal.
All right, and what's the experience you've had with a cop?
I'm married to one. I've dated several before I married him, and I worked gangs for 16 years, and so I worked in high schools. That's my background and expertise is in gangs and graffiti. So I worked very closely with Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, and that's my whole background is gangs and graffiti. Coming out here, I work with our SRO very closely, and I go to GRIP meetings every month where we meet with the police department. I've done that ever since I moved out here.
Dang.
So I've always, as somebody who was an applicant for the police department and couldn't get on, I lucked out in the jobs I got, because I went into jobs that I got to do a lot more than even my husband. I mean, my husband's a police officer, and I've gotten to bust a lot more interesting people than he has. So so I lucked out on what I got to do. So I have a lot of experience working with police officers. I've worked with them for a long time. I've even, in my law enforcement classes, done some of the lectures in them because of my gang and graffiti background. So.
And what are some limits you think cops should have?
Some moments?
Limits.
Oh, limits.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a tough one, because there's a lot of different limits that police officers should have, because I have seen some cross over the limits, not out here, but where I came from. I mean, cops have to sometimes be retrained on the anger issues, so that they don't cross over that line. They need to, you know, sometimes when you're in it for so many years, you forget that and you can cross the line. So I just think once in a while they need reevaluated. I think it's too bad that too often with police officers, they're already in the midst of a media blitz because of something filmed before somebody recognizes there was an issue with them that could have helped. You know, in the nature of the job, they deal with stuff nonstop, and then all of a sudden they have one, you know, error in judgment, and it becomes you know, it's all against them and how horrible they are. And you know, I look at social media is the worst thing for police ever. You know, you see like a cop has been killed, and if you read the comments, it'll be a news station, you know, saying that a cop was killed, like one of these that just passed away in the car accident, and people are actually posting, oh, he deserved it, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you just think, oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, just there's such a negative impact on cops anyway, and so I just think that something should be done to make sure that as they're, you know, getting angry, that things can be helped before it becomes an issue where it becomes a public thing. So
Well, thank you.